Hey guys, and welcome to another Escape Wheel watch review. Today we're looking at the Cronos GMT. This is the Pepsi colorway. Obviously this is a homage to the Rolex GMT Master 2. And you can pick this up on AliExpress for anywhere between, I think it's like $340 to about $380. It's hard to tell right now because they're actually on sale. I was able to get this model down to pretty close to $300. And I think $300 is kind of that spot where you're going to want to pull the trigger. I don't think it's going to get any lower than that, or not much lower than that. So if this goes up before the end of the video or before the end of the sale, I think it's a pretty good time to buy it. So yeah, let's get right into this review. So first things first are the dimensions. So case diameter is 40.5. I'm getting 12.4 millimeters thick, which is way different than the 13.8 listed on the website. I don't know where that's coming from. That's with the Cyclops, is 13.8. We've got a 20 millimeter lug width. Overall case length of 47.2. You do have very slightly protruding end links, and that brings the total length to 49.8. So very wearable. It's your typical Submariner style case, I think. So you probably already know how this is going to wear on you. So zooming way in for the finishing on this thing, it is done just excellent, just right on par with St. Martin. Yeah, really nicely done. I've seen Swiss watches that aren't done this well, so very happy with the finishing on this thing. You got a vertical brushing on the top of the lugs, and then you've got nice transitions here. I mean, look at super nice transitions down to the polished sides. Same on the other side here. You have the polished crown guards. Everything is, kind of what you expect from Submariner style case finishing, just done really well. Very impressed with it. You've got a circular brushing on the bottom part of that bezel, and then the top surface is polished. Looks really good. You've got vertical brushing on the bracelet with the 3 polished links. We'll get to the bracelet here in a little bit, but yeah, everything is done really well. Very happy with the finishing on this. On the case back, you got a typical Rolex style case back. I wish they would just use a regular style case back. These things are such a pain to get off, but hopefully I'll never have to do that. But you do have circular brushing on the bottom of the case back and on the bottom of the case. No sharp edges or anything like that. Really nicely done. Very impressed with the overall finishing on this thing. And you can see it sits pretty flat on the wrist, but it is only 12.4 millimeters thick or 12.6 millimeters thick, something like that. So it wears really good. I'm going to go outside and put it on the wrist for you. So here it is on my 7 1/4 inch wrist, and as you would expect, fits me perfectly. Nice little clasp there, super comfortable. Yeah, I've just got no complaints with the way this thing wears. It is perfect. Man, I can't get over it. You can see the nice sparkle from the bezel there. I don't have much sunlight today, unfortunately, but here it is in some a little bit overcast conditions. There we go. We're getting some sun. So sorry about the wind as well. It's pretty windy today, but you can see the AR coating. It's working really well, keeping down those reflections. Super legible. Yeah, everything looks great on this thing. Yeah, again, I just can't get over how well this thing works. So there you go. Ooh, nice and bright sun there. Really pops the colors of that bezel. Yeah, looking great. But I'm going to throw it on a couple straps and we'll get back to the review. So here it is on a gray vintage leather from Vario. I think it looks pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of this look. I'm not a huge fan of many bracelets on the super case, but this one I think works pretty well. One thing to note here is the lug holes are pretty close to the case. I'm getting a little bit of rubbing on this one, so not something I normally notice on some watches, so I figured I'd point that out. But let's go inside, we'll put it on another strap, and we'll get back to the review. And here it is on the last strap. This is a rubber B style strap, also from AliExpress. I'll leave the link down below. I did have to use some curved spring bars to get it in there, but it does work. And yeah, with the blue accent, I think it looks pretty cool. These are really some of the only straps I really actually like on these super cases. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna stick to the Jubilee though, I think. All right, let's go back inside and finish up this review. All right, so let's talk about the bezel on this. And this is one of the reasons why this thing is so expensive. So this is a ceramic bezel, and you might not think that's anything special, but this red and blue combo is very difficult to do and very expensive to do. So you'll see these red and blues in aluminum on, you know, Parnas and Pagani design and Flita, stuff like that. I think the Batman ones are ceramic, so that's not a huge difference, but this red and blue is very difficult to do, very expensive to do. So, yeah, I think that's one of the things you're paying a little bit extra for. And I think it looks absolutely wonderful. It looks great. So you've got really nice deep engravings all around, filled almost perfectly with white paint. Unfortunately, the bezel is not lumed at all. That's one of my few complaints of this watch. But you do have an option of getting this fully lumed, so there's that. But yeah, I think it looks so good. Even the transition from red to blue, it's very sharp, better than what I've seen on Rolexes. So yeah, they did an excellent job with this bezel. I love it, and the colors I think are perfect. So yeah, kudos to Cronos for pulling this bezel off. It looks great. The bezel action on this thing, you do have a little bit of wobble on it, so I'm going to see if you can see it or not. Let's get way up in here. So there's a little tiny bit of bounce to the bezel, and there's just a little bit of play that I can do there. But I mean, this is my first 24-hour bezel, so I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be like. I'm sure it's supposed to be a little bit tighter than that, but you know, it really doesn't bother me in everyday use. But like I said, it is a 24-hour bezel, and it's a 24-click bezel. So you got 2 clicks between markers. So you'll be able to easily time 3 time zones, and it is bidirectional, as you can see there. Yeah, really happy with the action on this. Satisfying clicks, everything lines up spot on. So overall, with the bezel, I'm very happy with it. The crystal on this, it's a flat sapphire crystal. It's got AR coating on the underside and is clear AR, my favorite kind. It protrudes ever so slightly from the bezel, as you can see there. You do have a Cyclops at the 3 o'clock position. This one is just ever so slightly off. I think it needs to shift to the left and maybe up just a hair. It's aligned nicely, but it just needs to move just a tiny bit. It's not off enough that it bothers me, but it is off just a hair. And zooming way into the dial here, it's a glossy black dial. There's no sunburst effect to it. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Super deep black, especially with the AR coating. It looks awesome. You've got a simple Cronos text at the 12 o'clock position, and then down at the 6 o'clock position you have the red GMT, automatic, 200 meter, 660 feet. Everything is printed just perfectly. There's no smudging or anything like that. It looks great. The minute track is printed in white. On this model, I've got a frame date window, but I know they dropped that since I've gotten this one. So yeah, just keep that in mind, that you won't see this frame date window anymore. It doesn't bother me, but yeah, it's not there on newer models. The handset on this, absolutely perfect, I think. Executed really nicely as well. Very nicely polished, perfect size. You got that red GMT hand with the polished triangle on the tip. It looks great. And the second hand sweeping around nicely there, perfectly sized as well. The indexes, it's got your typical Rolex Submariner style layout. So the triangle at 12, 6 and 9 are batons, and then circles everywhere else. Everything aligns nicely. Everything looks just, I mean, it looks perfect. I don't see any faults with it at all. And all the indexes and the hands are filled with BGW9 Lume. So here's a Lume shot, and you can see it next to the San Martin on the left. The Cronos is in the middle, and then you've got the Flita GMT on the right. The only thing I'm really missing is that lumed bezel. As you can see, the Flita on the right has an awesome lumed bezel. It looks fantastic. I wish they would at least lume the pip on it just so you could time things at night, but yeah, that's my only real complaint. The lume lasts all night long. It's maybe not quite as bright as San Martin's, but it's right up there with them. So no complaints with the lume on this thing. All right, let's talk about the movement on this. So the movement is operated by this 3 o'clock crown. You can see it is a nicely signed crown. It's got that really cool Cronos logo on it. This one sits almost horizontal. I know that wasn't on purpose, but it kind of looks cool. Just thought I'd mention that. The movement inside this is the Hangzhou 6460. It's an automatic movement based on the ETA 2836-2 GMTs. It's been running absolutely fantastic for me. Under 5 seconds a day. It hacks, it hand winds. It's got an independent GMT hand. We'll get into all that. The threading on the crown here is just buttery smooth. I don't think I have another watch that's as smooth as this one. So really happy with that. You do get a nice satisfying pop out there. First position, just buttery smooth winding. You can't hardly even hear it. Pop out to the first position. You can turn the crown clockwise and it changes the date. And that does snap over right at midnight. So that's nice to see. You turn it the other way. You turn the crown the other way. And you'll see the GMT hand wind back, and you'll see that it kind of snaps into place there. So it's snapping into place at every hour, so you're going to get an accurate hour reading at every position. Really nicely done. Pretty satisfying to use, very solid crown, no wobble or anything with it. You pull the hand out, or you pull the crown out to the third position, and that's where you have your time setting. So just for some quick specs, it's a 28,800 beats per hour. So that second hand ticks at 8 ticks per second. Slightly smoother than anything else you'll see in this from AliExpress. It's got about 40 hours of power reserve, and it's 26 joule movement. So it's been around for quite a while, and I think it's got a pretty good reputation for being a reliable movement. I mean, it's an ETA clone. So yeah, it should be pretty good. And if this thing ever does die, you can drop in the ETA 2836-2. So that's a nice option to have. So you're depressing the crown, lets you screw it in. It is, again, just absolutely buttery smooth. Smoothest crown action I've seen in my collection. Really happy with that. So let's talk about the bracelet. The bracelet on this thing is excellent. Like I said, it is 20 millimeters. It does taper. Let's see what it tapers down to. 16 millimeters, and the clasp is 17 millimeters. And if you're interested, the clasp is 33 millimeters long. So the bracelet on this thing is just fantastic. It's extremely comfortable. I know these Jubilees, this is my first Jubilee, and it's wonderful. I've got absolutely no complaints about it. The brushing on it is done really well. It's got polished sides to it, screws for adjusting, all solid links, solid end links. They, like I said, they do protrude ever so slightly, but it's not a big deal at all. The bracelet is extremely fluid, as you can see here. I mean, nothing catches on it at all. It's just an excellent bracelet. Even the inside of the bracelet is just super well finished. I mean, it's you could flip this thing inside out and it would look great still. That's how good it is. Yeah, really happy with the bracelet on this thing. It's the most comfortable bracelet I've had in my collection. The clasp on this, very simple clasp, but very nicely done. So you got 4 micro adjusts here. You do have polished sides. You got a nice polished chamfer that runs along the length of it here. Brush top to it. There's no signature. I wish they would just put that Cronos hour logo right there. That would be awesome. You got the 2 pushers here, and that's it. Inside is fully milled, as you would expect here, and yeah, it's a great clasp. It's nice. It's low profile. It's not very long. It's just excellent. The only thing I'm really missing is like a sweaty day extension, and I'm gonna try and see if I can somehow get one of the Pagani design sweaty day extensions in here. I'm not sure if it'll work or not, but I'm gonna try it because that would be awesome. But yeah, the bracelet on this thing is a huge selling point. I haven't seen a bracelet this nice on an AliExpress watch. I haven't seen a bracelet this nice on anything, honestly. So you're kind of seeing where the $380 is coming from. The movement, the ceramic bezel, the finishing, overall finishing on this thing, it's just a total package. I keep reaching for this watch, and not just because it's new, but because it's super comfortable. I think it looks great, and it kind of goes with most of the outfits that I wear. So yeah, very, very happy with that. Any quality control issues? I did have a couple. So I think that Cyclops is just ever so slightly off. And then the only other thing that I could really see is, I'm going to see if I can see it here, but on that 9, or the 6, sorry, right in this top right corner of it that you can see there, it's missing just a dab of paint. That's it. It's really hard to see. I don't notice it in everyday use, but when I look at it close enough, I can see it. But that's pretty much it. Everything else, like the dial was clean, the bracelet functions great, the screws in the bracelet function perfect, and yeah, I had no other problems with it. So there you have it. That's the Cronos GMT. I think it is an excellent watch. It's going to make me think twice about buying pretty much any other watch. It's that good, guys. I just can't. I don't know if it's coming across, but I absolutely love this watch. Yeah, it's as close to perfect as you're going to find, I think. There's things about the St. Martin that I just don't like, and maybe it is a better watch. I'm really not sure. But you know, the St. Martin logo and the all red GMT hand, I'm just not a fan of on the St. Martin. And I really do like this clasp on this thing. And I think the St. Martin clasp is just really, really chunky. And but yeah, that one also should be excellent. But yeah, I ended up going with this one for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is the price is a little bit cheaper. But yeah, I'm extremely happy with my purchase. This is one that's going to stay in my collection probably forever, right alongside the black sub from St. Martin. Yeah, this thing is, it's great. I don't know if I can say it anymore, but it's great. So if you want one of these now and you're willing to pay close to $400 for it, or if you can find it on sale for $300, do it. I'm going to drop the link down below. You can get that from the official LGY watch store. I think it's excellent. Make sure to select the faster shipping when you buy these things, because it's free after, I think if you spend $20 at their store, you get the DHL fast shipping. So be sure to do that. If you want to see some more pictures of this thing, I doubt I'm going to be changing the strap because it's that good, but you can go and check out my Instagram. I'll leave that down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful, found it useful at all, leave me a thumbs up. That really helps the channel. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. We're getting really close to 1,000, and I'll be doing a giveaway of one of my watches, so be sure to subscribe. If you guys have a question or comment, you want to leave them down below, please do so. I'll be sure to get back to you guys. But I think that's it. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.